I went into my heart cave and all these little blue beings came in and started pushing me. Like, come on, get going, do it. All right. Hi, my name is Loesje Jacob. I'm the founder of Linking Awareness Adventures, Inc. And as you know or you don't know, we have facilitators all over the world facilitating Linking Awareness Journey. And then myself also facilitating that, as well as Linking Awareness Adventure and Linking Awareness Observer. And these other workshops we do sometime called Pop in the Bubble of Doubt. Today I just wanted to have a quick chat about the concept of Linking Awareness Observer remote or distance sessions, which may seem a little bit interesting that you don't have to show up in person, but I wanted to do a little communication with you on how that possibly does actually take effect or how powerful it is. So, Linking Awareness Observer remote sessions with Loesje in this case. How can Linking Awareness Observer remote sessions be effective if the subject is not there physically? And certainly we're talking about subjects which could be sentient beings we call animals, could be a baby, could be yourself, could be a plant. The subject could be anything in the unified field. So these types of techniques are known by a lot of different names, which includes things like remote observation, intercessory prayer, energy frequency healing / change, shamanic healing / change, non-local healing / change, etc., etc. Do you like my / change? Because I have this thing about the word healing, or healed. I think we're always healing, but certainly we're affecting change in the quantum field within ourselves and from a ripple effect whenever we're observing sessions or receiving these sessions. So because this healing or change is considered non-local, it actually defies classical physics. Einstein, I'm sure you all remember the concept of Einstein. He defined this as spooky action at a distance, and it does seem that there's a lot of evidence for quantum non-locality. Wow, big words, quantum non-locality. Well, thanks, Einstein. Another way to think about remote healing or change is as if it's a form of wireless technology. Well, without the wires. Oh, that's wireless, that's right. Oh yeah. Similar to a cell phone that is then transmitting healing or change to a frequency of intent or awareness. Or we might want to say conscious awareness, because awareness is all that is. So when we bring a conscious awareness as the observer, we seem to be affecting change, whether it's in person or non-local or at a distance. Who knew? Everything is connected. Everything is a part of a continuous whole. And as such, distance is not a factor. As different forms of energy and frequencies are all that there is. So now what we're saying is it doesn't matter if you're Edgar Mitchell on the moon or if you're on the earth plane and your subject is another part of the world. There is no time or space or distance. It's all an interesting illusion. So the science behind it is both simple and profound. So as you can see, represented in the Linking Awareness logo, we're all part of a dynamic web. I like to call it the web of oneness, and within which, in all ways, everything's connected. Nothing is separate. That's so interesting because for eons or years anyways, or centuries, we got somehow taught that things are separate outside of ourself, and now we're realizing there's actually no separateness. Everything is interconnectedness into a state of oneness. So quantum physicists have proven that one electron doesn't move without the permission of all other electrons. Now, there are thousands of electrons in any given space, but they all work in connection with the others. And to add to that, time and space are completely relative. And now we're saying there are actually dimensions. What does that mean? Is there like another dimensional aspect of myself that I'm connecting with as well? Interesting concepts, I think. So not only are we all connected, but we can connect across time and space. So when you're going to experience a Linking Awareness Observer remote session, we are connecting through what they call the quantum field, the field that connects all. Or as My friend Edgar Mitchell would say the quantum hologram. Lots of words out there these days for this concept, yeah? The core of the idea is that everything, including all sentient beings, consists of frequencies and energies. And these frequencies or energies exist as light in the 0-point field. And that could also be known as universal consciousness, the field, the quantum hologram. Lots of different perspectives on how we can put words to something that is actually not explainable, really. So these frequencies or energies have collapsed through consciousness into physical manifestation. Here I am. Well, my physical part of me anyways. We observe the information contained in light as it shifts disorganized frequencies or energies in the sentient being's body-mind through a process known as resonance to its new state of equilibrium. So resonance is a concept. If something is resonating at a frequency, then if something comes in that's not at a similar frequency, by being together, it starts to go into coherence with that same frequency. One of the great examples, because I love music, is maybe you have a guitar sitting in the corner of the room and you pick up another guitar and you strum one of the strings. Maybe it's the E string, and then all of a sudden that E string in the guitar in the corner of the room that no one's touching starts to resonate that same frequency. This is what we're trying to talk about with the concept of resonance. So we observe the harmonious frequency or energy that a sentient being is meant to vibrate at, and that sentient being will then begin to raise or lower the frequency or energy to match the suitable one for itself. So this inner wisdom or innate wisdom or body intelligence, universal consciousness within us knows the frequency that it's requiring. And it'll search, it'll scan this other frequency here and go into resonance and coherence with what it's asking for. Observer intent is the key. And so if I'm the non-attached, compassionate observer of the subject, as that linking awareness observer, I focus my intent to observe your session as you commit to receiving the observation of the linking awareness observer session. So you're engaging in the process by committing to it. How cool is that? You're also adding your intent by registering for the linking awareness observer session, as well as paying the fee, and through this action, you're also demonstrating your willingness to receive the session. And you know what? I don't care if you're doing it and you're skeptical. The fact that you said, yeah, let's try this, that's your intent, yeah? Therefore, your intent and my intent come together, and the combined intent seems to enhance the effect of the session. So guess what? I'm just actually observing the miracle within you that's waiting to unfold itself. And then I get to be that humble observer going like, oh, wow, that's so cool. And whether it's your animal, one of your plants, your child, your in utero baby, it doesn't really matter. It's all energy. So now, rather than pretending that we have all of the answers, the bottom line is we don't know exactly how this stuff works. I don't know how it works, it just seems to work. And every time I get to be like the Dalai Lama says, just be a child. Stay in that childlike wonder and go like, wow, it worked. I don't know how, but something changed. This has been true for many branches of medicine, including drugs, plant medicines, etc. We knew that they worked before we figured out how. We knew that they worked before we figured out how. That's a key, isn't it? Allowing the process. So we still don't know how a lot of drugs or plant medicines, etc. worked, but it doesn't mean that they didn't work. We're saying the same thing about this concept of remote or distance healing or change. So since the beginning of time, there have been individuals who could seemingly heal or change people with combined intent. Remember, it's combined intent. You commit to the process, the observer commits to the process, there's two people. Oh, maybe there's a third. That's interesting. So in the modern world, this type of healing or change is referred to as remote or distance healing or change. So therefore, it would seem that linking awareness observer concept is a form of observational remedy. And it can be defined as a form of focus and intent that is directed to the restoration of health on all levels, body, mind, spirit, of the sentient being who is not within the same room as the sender. Wow, that's like Harry Potterish. So cool, hey? Wow. Therefore, experience has shown that a linking awareness observer session combined with intent can affect a sentient being system across time and space. The word intent, I love it. You know, a lot of people say intention, and it's like intention. There's intention in the tent. And so I love the word intent because we're in the tent of the one. That non-separateness state of oneness that we've chosen to come into the tent of together. Very powerful, hey? Therefore, when one is trained as a linking awareness observer from a perspective of non-attached compassion, unconditional love, or as the dolphins call it, the quantum love gene, the potential to observe miracles is present. Wow, how humbly blessed am I to be one of those observers. By now, I'm wondering if you have any questions. And please, if you do, email me at fullcircle@gmail.com. Or check out my website, and you would find that at www.linkingawareness.com. Time to sign off. But I actually don't want to sign off because I want to tell so many stories about how honored I am to have taken the years of study, travel, and shifting my conscious awareness to the capacity to be able to observe you remotely or at a distance. It's like this gift I dreamed of when I was a child. You know, is this even possible? And now I'm in this observer position of knowing it's possible because I've been observing miracles in so many different ways. And realizing that I could observe that at a distance physically. And during some of these times that we've been experiencing, when we're not always in the same place at the same time physically, we still have the capacity to profoundly affect and change our lives in the most high frequency, amazing ways. And all I can say to whatever that process was for myself is thank you. And, you know, I have my personal horse on this photo with me, and I'm continuously grateful to the animal kingdom who really brought me into this position, because all those years of travel and working with sanctuaries and wild ones, how was I going to be supportive if I went back home? And how was I going to be supportive of the wild deer that showed up at the side of the road with a limping leg asking for help? But I couldn't go and catch that deer to touch it to try and do something. All of a sudden, I realized I could be the observer of miracles and change at a distance for the animal kingdom as well. And probably no words to say how grateful I am for the realization that that's possible and it's effective, and seeing that deer within minutes go through a shift and change and either lightly limp away or walk away without limping, and then stop and turn to say thank you. Because on a conscious level, that deer knew that our coming together and that observation was co-creator of change. And then I realized I've had a shift and change at the same time from the gratitude of the deer. Most of all, thanks for listening, and I look forward to observing a remote session for you. And I certainly look forward to you joining us in some of our linking awareness journeys, adventures, and observational retreats around the world. Thank you.